there, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another quick take celebrity news edition. And the question on the docket, is he or isn't he the father? We're questioning paternity for this quick take, and as this is quite an in-depth story, go ahead and sit back and relax and let us get into this quick take. According to dailymail.com, exclusively, it shares that man 30 who insists he is Jay-Z's illegitimate son accuses rapper of abusing legal system for 10 years to avoiding taking a paternity test as he files new Supreme Court motion to unseal a decade-long case. He says, "I will win because the law is on my side." The 30-year-old man who claims that he is the secret illegitimate son of Jay-Z has accused the world-famous rapper of abusing the legal system for more than a decade in order to avoid taking a paternity test. Ramir Satterwhite has been fighting to prove that Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, is his biological father since he was 21 years old. And he is now taking that battle to the Supreme Court in an attempt to unseal the case and force Carter to take a DNA test. Speaking to dailymail.com about the latest twist in the roller coaster case, Ramir from New Jersey insisted that he wants nothing more than to see justice served and that he will stop at nothing to ensure that happens. He added that he wants nothing from the billionaire rapper who has been married to chart-topping pop superstar Beyonce other than for Jay-Z to acknowledge him as his son. In a letter to dailymail.com, Jay-Z's attorneys denied Ramir's claims, noting the allegations have been previously reviewed thoroughly by the courts and have been refuted. "I am sure that will be the outcome of whatever filings Mr. Satterwhite may be currently considering. This is not going to be over until justice is served," Ramir says. "I just want to live my life, and when it is all said and done, I hope that Jay-Z would want to be a part of my life if that is God's will. I won't stop fighting for this until I win, and I will win because the law is on our side." To that end, Ramir filed a new motion with the New Jersey Supreme Court in February of this year, which has been obtained by dailymail.com, requesting that the court unseal years' worth of documents dating back to 2012, arguing that keeping the case under wraps has prevented him from getting his due process. The motion, which details every facet of the years-long case in a 29-page document, was rejected by the Supreme Court because, according to the court, it did not have jurisdiction to reopen matters in the appeals court or to unseal records in the trial court. It was then refiled by Ramir in the appellate division of the New Jersey Superior Court, which is considering the matter. It marks the latest turn in a very twisted and lengthy case, which began, Ramir says, in the fall of 1992, when his late mother, Wanda, alleged she had relations with Jay-Z while she was in an on-again, off-again romance with her high school sweetheart. At the time, Wanda was 16 and Jay-Z was 22, and far from the global rap sensation that he has since become, following the release of his debut studio album, Reasonable Doubt, in 1996. The fling, Ramir says, was short-lived, and by the time he was born in July of 1993, the alleged romance between his mother and Jay-Z had already come to an end, which is partly why he claims his mother chose to put the name of her high school sweetheart, Robert Graves, who by this time had reignited his romance with Wanda, was by her side in the hospital when she gave birth as well, on her son's birth certificate as his biological father. However, according to a family insider, Wanda always knew that Robert was not Ramir's father, something that became all the more evident as her son grew and bore no resemblance to her high school sweetheart. DailyMail.com has reached out to all parties involved, including Jay-Z and Jay-Z's attorney, Liz Fisher. When Ramir was 8 years old, he says his mother told him that Jay-Z, who by this stage name had made a name for himself as a global musical icon and was his real father. However, the question of Ramir's paternity did not turn into a legal tussle until 2010, 2 years after Jay-Z married his wife Beyonce, when Wanda's health began to decline. At the time, she insisted insisted that she had relations with only 2 men at the time of Ramir's conception, her high school sweetheart Michael and Jay-Z, and requested that a Pennsylvania court make both men take paternity tests in order to determine who was her son's real father. When the court issued an order, Robert agreed to undergo genetic testing, proving once without any shadow of a doubt that he and Ramir had no biological relation. Robert's name was removed from Ramir's birth certificate by the court and has remained blank ever since. In 2011, Wanda handed over custody of her son to her godmother, Lily Cooley, who vowed to carry on the fight to prove the identity of Ramir's father once and for all, telling DailyMail.com, "I was just trying to help my goddaughter's child have a relationship with his father. It was so hard on him because he was ripped away from his mom and had no one to call dad." That same year, Lily contacted Jay-Z's attorney, Lise Fisher, and asked that he undergo DNA testing in New Jersey, where he and Ramir were based. Ramir and Lily say they complied with the request, but never received a response from Jay-Z's legal team about the results of any genetic testing. That same year, multiple reports surfaced alleging that Jay-Z had fathered another son with a Trinidadian model. Chanel Scott claims that the rapper's team were quick to dismiss as ridiculous rumors. Lily and Ramir began to pursue legal action against Jay-Z in 2012, a battle that has since spanned more than 10 years and seen the pair embroiled in endless legal tussles with the rapper. During that time, Ramir insists that Jay-Z's legal team has made endless attempts to subvert the legal system in order to avoid taking a paternity test, which the 30-year-old claims would put an end to the case once and for all. Documentation about every legal proceeding is enclosed in Ramir's new Supreme Court motion, which has been seen by DailyMail.com and which outlines how the case began with a pretrial in Camden County, New Jersey on August 13, 2012. During the pretrial, Jay-Z's attorney argued that Lily, who was acting as Ramir's legal guardian, had no jurisdiction over his case because it was first filed by his mother Wanda in Pennsylvania and therefore should be heard in the same state. The rapper's attorneys also insisted that the case should therefore be dismissed outright because Ramir was over 18 years old at the time of the pre-trial, and according to the Pennsylvania state law, paternity must be established before a child reached the age of adulthood. The court, however, disagreed, holding that the case should be tried under New Jersey law, which states that the age of parentage is 23. Jay-Z's legal team then argued that the rapper should be exempt from undergoing a DNA test in New Jersey because he did not live or own any property in the state, despite several news articles linking him to homes in Alpine and Newport. "My client does not have contacts in New Jersey. He doesn't own residences. He doesn't own anything in Alpine. He doesn't own anything in Newport. I don't know why that information is out there. It is on the internet," his lawyer told the court. As a result of this argument, the judge dismissed the case. However, Ramir's attorneys immediately appealed the verdict, insisting that they had evidence in the form of 3 property deeds and tax records proving that Jay-Z owned several properties in New Jersey and that his attorney therefore committed fraud by stating otherwise in court. For several of the properties, Jay-Z is still listed as the owner under his legal name, Sean Corey Carter. In addition, several of his immediate family members are also listed. Ramir and his legal team submitted the deeds as evidence for their appeal, and the case resumed on December 12, 2012. During a hearing as a part of that trial, Jay-Z's attorneys noted that she had misspoken about where he really lived, having told the court that the rapper lived at 411 Broadway in New York City, which is actually the office of his record label, Rock Nation. "I did misspeak at the last hearing because I really did think that Broadway was his home address," Fisher stated. However, the case was still dismissed after the rapper's lawyer contended that Ramir had failed to prove that the Sean Corey Carter listed on the deeds was in fact her client and not another person of the same name. Now, the DailyMail.com goes on to share that they had obtained the court transcript from August 13, 2012, as I shared earlier, where Jay-Z's attorney, Lise Fisher, told the court that he doesn't own residence in New Jersey, thus giving the state no jurisdiction to require him to take the paternity test. Daily Mail also shared shares that they had also obtained property deeds and tax records for several properties allegedly owned by Jay-Z in 2012. Daily.com article further shares that Lily submitted these documents to the court to show that Jay-Z did own those properties in New Jersey, which would give the court jurisdiction to require DNA testing. The court, however, ruled in favor of Jay-Z. The DailyMail.com further shares that civil rights groups NAACP and ACLU are fighting for Rahmir and have sent multiple letters to New Jersey state legislators demanding that Rahmir get due process. Let's continue. Plaintiff's request for genetic testing and for support is dismissed for lack of subject matter jurisdiction and for lack of personal jurisdiction over defendant Sean Corey Carter without prejudice, the court ruled. The decision came as a heavy blow to Rahmir and Lily, who insisted DailyMail.com that Jay-Z's legal team made false statements in order to sway the court in its decision. In December 2014, Rahmir filed a civil lawsuit against Jay-Z and his attorney, during which the rapper's legal team made the same argument that they had done during the 2012 and 2013 hearing, that he did not own any property in New Jersey and could therefore not be subject to a paternity ruling in the state. Again, the court ruled in Jay-Z's favor and dismissed the case. At the time, I had spent well over $20,000 on lawyers and other things that were related to this case, Rahmir told DailyMail.com. I didn't have that kind of money, but knew it was the right thing to do. Up until now, the entire case has been sealed by the court, which means that the public cannot obtain files pertaining to this case, something that Rahmir hopes to change with his new Supreme Court filing. Despite the disappointing decision, Rahmir has continued to fight to prove his paternity, something that his mother Wanda spoke out about from her deathbed before passing away in 2016. My name is Wanda Satterwhite, and I am the mother of Rahmir Satterwhite, she stated in a video shared with Radar Online. Today is April 20, 2016, and I want the world to know that I support my son in his paternity suit with Sean Corey Carter. I stand by my allegations regarding this man. Rahmir has continued to fight his case even after his mother's passing, suing Jay-Z for civil damages in 2015, claiming that the rapper had obstructed his ability to obtain closure. In 2017, Rahmir had Lily file a civil rights complaint to Judge Glenn A. Grant for violations that included not following normal procedures for court services based on gender, class, and retaliation. They also filed civil rights complaints to New Jersey's Attorney General, the Governor of New Jersey, various New Jersey senators, and the Judicial Conduct Board in New Jersey. They repeated the civil rights violation complaints to the same parties again in 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022. Once again, all of the cases were dismissed. In a 2022 YouTube video, Rahmir made clear his feelings about the case, telling the world, "I don't feel like our rights are appreciated. There's a lot of fraud and collusion that has been going on, and I'm not going to let that pass. We are going in there with our hard-earned money to fight fraud. The judges are allowing this to go on. Someone over them should be held responsible for this. I just want everyone to keep their eyes open. We should never go into a courtroom and feel like we are the victims. We got stepped on and tried to get dragged through the system. I will not let anyone put this on my name, my mother's name, or my godmother's name. We will fight for what is right, like we have been doing all these years," Rahmir said in the video. Jay-Z has never publicly spoken about the case. However, in his 2018 album with Beyonce called The Carters, You Heard About Us, he vaguely addressed the accusations. The lyrics to the song state, Billie Jean in his prime, for the 1,000th time, the kid ain't mine. Online they call me dad, kiddingly. You're not supposed to take this dad thing literally. Well, that, my friends, is quite the quick take. Very much involved story. It's been allegedly going on for quite some time. And of course, all accusations made are that accusations and alleged until a final resolve come to pass. And one thing I will say is a very heart-wrenching story, and I would imagine that closure, one way or another, is going to be the most benefit to closing out this situation, irregardless of what the results may be. But again, all accusations that were shared within this quick take are most certainly alleged, and until we get a resounding result, they will remain that way. I, however, would like to know your thoughts and what you feel about this particular quick take. So go ahead and leave those down in the comment section, and let's have a conversation about it. And of course, I appreciate you watching. And if you are new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to become part of the family. I would so love to have you. And if you enjoyed the video, I so appreciate a like. And with that, I think that'll about do it for this quick take. I will definitely be keeping my eyes open for any updates that continued with this case, and we'll be sure to bring that to you in a future video. But again, we are in a holding pattern as we wait the results of the next stage, and we'll just have to see what happens. So with that, I wish for you a wonderful rest of your day. Take care, stay safe, and be blessed. And until next time, bye.